Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is so funny how Stephen Jones acts like, the things that they're dealing with are, things that you can't help but to deal with them. Forgive me, my daughter's tires were getting a little worn out, and it's like, this is getting ready to be bad weather, about to get a polar vortex that's coming down next week, and it's supposed to be cold as shit, and I think snow on Monday, so it's like, you need some tires, girl. So I had to go through and help take care of that with her. But Stephen Jones, who's already Catboy, already making excuses of why we can't do this and why we can't do that, and so on. We're still paying players that aren't here, and this, that, and the other, and other ones that are going to go. But see, here's the thing that's kind of crazy. I mean, I understand you're going to mess up on some players. Sometimes players are going to get injuries that you just can't, account for. Nobody knows this. Nobody is hit on every single player. But a lot of the Cowboys' problems are self-inflicted, because you can literally look at where the Cowboys have wasted draft picks, flat out just wasted. And let's go through the list a little bit here, okay? So the Cowboys traded a number one pick to get Amari Cooper, a number one pick. Now, when you look at the grand scheme of things, there's not a lot of the receivers that are going necessarily for number ones. Him at that time, and it seems like the price maybe has come down some, but him and A.J. Brown were both first-round picks. Is what they cost each team. And I'm going to say that what the Cowboys were getting for that first-round pick, that Amari played really well. But to turn around and trade him for a fifth, and that fifth-round pick, we got Matt Lewinsky. So when you look at this and you say, Matt Lewinsky has done nothing for our team. Amari Cooper is still a productive receiver even today. The fact that the Cleveland Browns, who only gave up a fifth for him, they got a third round. So they took a fifth and turned it into a three. We took a 1,000-yard receiver and turned him into a backup. A backup, okay? That has not been productive at all for our team. And you have to look at that and say, the only thing you got out of that trade was you saved a little bit of money. Because basically, you then turned around because you said, hey, we can't pay Amari Cooper. You took a dead hit. You took a dead hit because Cleveland that first year only had to take a $5 million hit for Amari Cooper. We took like a $10 million hit. So we took a 1,000-yard receiver, still took $10 million hit, and only got a fifth that turned into nobody. And then turned around and said, we got to sign Michael Gallup. He'll replace him, and paid him $33 million for 2 years of service, 9 of which we'll pay this year. Okay. And because the Cowboys always wait till the last minute to do things, they looked at the cupboard at the end of training camp and said, we need more defensive help. And so they traded a 7th-round pick. Not that a 7th-round pick is a lot, but still, a 7th-round pick to the Giants for Jordan Phillips, an aging journeyman defensive lineman who the Giants basically said wasn't really putting out. And you held on to him too long that it made that 7th-round pick effective. And now, for whatever reason, the only thing I can think of is that the Cowboys plan on re-signing Trey Lance on the cheap. Because you traded a 4th-round draft pick for a backup quarterback who was a #1 pick, and then you refuse to play him. That you literally are still saying, right now we're still trying to win games. Okay. Are you saying that we have no chance whatsoever to win with Trey Lance? Because that's what you just said. We're still trying to win games. So you're admitting that there's absolutely positively nothing that Trey Lance can do that can help our team. That he's so bad that Cooper Rush, after a terrible game against the Eagles, that it's not worth your time to put him out there, and that you are paying him $5.3 million this year, which is almost twice what you're actually paying Cooper Rush. So if you're keeping track, we took a guy that we took a #1 for, we got a 5th round for it. The 5th round we got a backup. We took a 4th round pick. We paid him $5.3 million this year to keep him on the roster. But he's not good enough to actually get on the field. Okay. So the final piece I'll put in here, which we still have time to find out if this is going to be the winner. If this one is going to be the winner, will be Jonathan Mingo. Mingo, who was a 2nd round pick, who they had high on their board, okay? They had high on their board. They thought he's going to be a really good player. And they traded a 4th round pick for a guy who so far has seemed to have been a bust. And you have targeted him 11 times this season for 20 yards. So we're sitting here looking at the draft, where we say that's where we make our hay. A #1 for a 5th, a 7th for a bust, a 4 for a quarterback that we can't play, and a 4 for a receiver who literally has done nothing thus far. Now, I know some people say, Jonathan Mingo is an investment in the future. But I'm just looking at this and saying, we're inept. And when Stephen Jones says, the Eagles, they're going to have problems down the road here and, paying people and stuff. Well, I've been hearing that for a while now. And I dare say, if you could get the Cowboys to a Super Bowl, that maybe fans would understand having a losing season. I don't know. Because having lost in the playoffs last year and then having a losing season while you were doing your philosophy of we believe in our guys and, paying good money for average play, where teams are winning the division and the #2 seed and, with what they're doing, I think Cowboy fans might be okay with that. Because we're already in the pits. Wasting picks. Got to go to the post office here. Got to pay the tax man. Yeah.